Welcome back to Happy Gut, Healthy Brain, the podcast where we explore the fascinating connections between what we eat and how we think. I'm your host, Larry Allen, and today I'm thrilled to have with us nutrition researcher Lindiwe Mbulu. Lindiwe, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Larry. I'm excited to be here.
Today we're diving into something that I think will surprise a lot of our listeners: how something as simple as eating berries and leafy greens could literally slow down brain aging. Lindiwe, let's start with berries. What makes these little fruits so special for our brains?
It's fascinating, Larry. Berries are absolutely packed with compounds called polyphenols, which have incredibly powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. But what makes berries particularly special for brain health is a specific type of polyphenol called anthocyanidins. These are the natural pigments that give berries their beautiful blue and purple colors.
And these can actually affect our brains?
Exactly. Here's what's remarkable. Anthocyanidins can cross something called the blood-brain barrier. This is essentially our brain's security system that normally keeps many substances out. The fact that these compounds can get through suggests they may provide direct neuroprotective effects right where we need them most.
That's incredible. Now, I know you're going to share some research that really puts this into perspective. Tell us about the Harvard study.
This is one of my favorite studies to discuss because of its scope and longevity. The Harvard Nurses' Health Study followed 16,000 women for years, and what they found was remarkable. Women who consistently ate more berries over the long term had significantly slower cognitive decline compared to those who ate fewer berries.
How significant are we talking here?
The results were striking. Higher consumption of blueberries and strawberries was associated with delayed cognitive aging by as much as 2.5 years. Think about that. Eating berries regularly could essentially give you an extra 2.5 years of sharp cognitive function.
2.5 years. That's not just statistically significant, that's life-changing. Was this just observational, or have researchers tested this more directly?
Great question. There have been intervention studies too. In one study, older adults added the equivalent of just 1 cup of blueberries to their daily diet. Researchers found improvements in their long-term memory and other aspects of cognition. When they looked at cognitive test performance, the placebo group actually did worse over time, while the blueberry group improved.
So we're talking about something as simple as a cup of blueberries making a measurable difference in brain function.
Exactly. The researchers believe this is due to those anthocyanins we discussed earlier. It really shows that eating just a handful of berries every day, which is such an easy and delicious dietary change, may slow your brain's aging by years.
That's amazing. Now, let's shift to another brain food that might surprise people: leafy greens. What's the connection there?
Dark green leafy vegetables like kale, collards, and arugula are packed with an antioxidant called lutein. What's particularly interesting about lutein is how we can actually measure its effects.
How so?
Well, the levels of lutein in the retina of our eyes directly correspond to levels in the rest of our brain. So in a very real sense, our eyes become a window into our mind. Researchers have found significant correlations between cognitive test scores and the amount of macular pigment, including lutein, in people's eyes.
So you can literally look into someone's eyes and get an idea of their brain health?
In a way, yes, it's remarkable. This means that increasing our intake of greens like kale can be a beneficial way to improve and maintain the health of both our brain and our eyes simultaneously.
Speaking of eyes, I understand there's some compelling research about macular degeneration as well.
Absolutely. This comes from 2 massive long-term studies, the Harvard Nurses' Health Study and the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study, which together followed more than 100,000 people for decades. They found that greater intake of lutein and zeaxanthin, those macular pigments and antioxidants found in greens, was associated with about a 40% lower chance of developing late-stage macular degeneration.
40%, that's huge.
It really is. Based on this research, a diet high in green leafy vegetables is now recommended specifically to prevent macular degeneration. So you're protecting both your vision and your cognitive function with the same dietary choices.
Lindiwe, let's bring this home for our listeners. If someone is listening to this and thinking, I want to start protecting my brain today, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them it's beautifully simple. Add a handful of berries to your breakfast or as a snack. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, whatever you enjoy, and incorporate dark leafy greens into your meals, whether that's adding spinach to a smoothie, having a kale salad, or sauteing some collard greens as a side dish.
Lindiwe Mbulu, thank you so much for sharing this research with us. This has been absolutely enlightening.
Thank you for having me, Larry. I hope your listeners are as excited about the power of food as we are.
And to our listeners, remember, small changes in what you eat today could mean significant changes in how you think tomorrow. You can find more information and resources at happyguthealthybrain.blogspot.com. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep feeding your brain well. I'm your host, Larry Allen.